Joining me is Louise, Elliot, business consultant and Hobart City Councillor. And Will Kingston, host of Australiana, a weekly podcast from the Spectator on politics and culture. Will, for a movement that says about love and compassion, please explain the hate and abuse.
It's difficult to explain, Andrew, and for what it's worth, Dutch slut isn't the expression I would use to describe you. Look, I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of yes voters don't really want to win this referendum. I think they say they do, but just like a lot of other identity politics issues, the lure of virtue signalling is so strong. The lure of being able to say, I am a good person and my fellow Australians are racists, are idiots, I am better than them. Perhaps on a subconscious level, I think they genuinely believe that it is better to be as part of a losing group, as long as I can say I'm a better person, than to actually do the harder work of making practical change happen in a really difficult policy area like Indigenous affairs. I think that ultimately is what this comes down to, that it's just much more fun to abuse people than to do the hard work of persuading, to do the hard work of bringing people on a journey. But that's really what was needed from the Yes campaign, and we're not seeing it.
Look, I don't think it's far-fetched, mate. I think it's a status issue here that if you say you're for the voice, you're better than the rest. And the bigger that the rest are, the more virtuous you are. So if you lose, it doesn't matter. You're still an elite, a moral elite. But Louise, the argument that Nazis are also against the voice, so you should be voting for it, what's your response to that?
My response is that if I could ask for one thing, I'd ask for the name calling to stop. I mean, Nazi is a terrible slur. I mean, it's the worst of, it demonstrates the worst of humankind, and the people that are preaching kindness, tolerance, inclusion, these are the people being the most intolerant, the most rude and nasty and disrespectful. And in that other clip you just showed, what that showed was, you know, the yes people talking over the top. It proves the point. We don't need a voice. We need people to start listening. And the people with the arrogance that brings it really back to name calling, it's despicable behaviour, and it really does push people further and further away from this virtue signalling proposal.